So, yeah. So we will have now a session where we are going to try to elaborate on the road ahead in FIWARE. You know, this event was designed with 3 days of duration. This main conference has just occupied the last 2 days, but the first day had already 2 tracks. One track was about development, developers training, which was, by the way, pretty crowded. But there were also at that point a number of meetings, working meetings of the community and the people that are leading the different activities. So we thought that somehow in this session we would present to you some of that discussions that took place on Tuesday, some of the conclusions of that debate, and also for those who may have not been present in some of these sessions, to also highlight some relevant aspects of the different programs that we have in place beyond just the technology. And we are talking about the Accelerate program, the Mundus program, and the iHub program. So we come with 3 speakers who will elaborate in each of them. So Roy, start with Accelerate program.
Okay.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Juanjo. Well, thank you, the Foundation, for inviting us to these days. It was an amazing event. It was really, really fruitful for us. We advanced a lot in the discussions and in the preparation of the Mission Support Committee in FIWARE Accelerate. Which are the FIWARE Accelerate next steps? Well, I'm Roy Rodriguez. I'm a project manager of Impact Growth, an accelerator that will distribute 3.6 million euros in the coming years. I'm also from Funding Box. Funding Box is the platform where we help SMEs and startups to win public funding. We have become gold members of the FIWARE Foundation in these days. Before seeing the next steps, let me recap a little bit of what was FIWARE Accelerate program so far. In FIWARE Accelerate program, 80 million euros were distributed through 16 accelerators that receive more than 8,000 applications and have like 1,000 beneficiaries. These beneficiaries created around more than 5,000 jobs and a revenue of almost 100 million euros by the end of this year. And in FIWARE Accelerate is also, please. Okay, but FIWARE Accelerate is not only about numbers, it's also about people. It's about people like Pablo Villalba. The story of Pablo Villalba is an amazing story. Pablo is he founded 8feet, that is his second startup, and when he was working in his first startup in Teambox, he gained 15 kilograms. So he decided that he needed to lose weight. He started to see different possibilities, changing the diet, making exercise, and so on. And gathering all what works for him, he founded 8feet. 8feet, that is a company that helps people to get in shape from home. When they built their app, they did it with a clear goal in mind: to change lives of millions of people for the better. And you know what? That they got it. They got it because they have today 3 million users worldwide, 70% of the users in the US. They have a total valuation of $20 million. They raised $3 million in this trip. And they have 25 employees. When they enter in FIWARE, we accelerated them. When they enter in FIWARE, they were 5 people. They were a very, very, very little thing. And then 3 million people all over the world are using their app. Okay, and which are the next steps? Here we have two main points. The first one is establishing the FIWARE Accelerate Mission Support Committee. In this FIWARE Summit, we established we settled the basis for doing it, and we will try to establish it by the beginning of 2017, in the first quarter of 2017. And the other point is that 2 accelerators will launch new open calls by the beginning of next year also. And these accelerators, of course, are powered by FIWARE and will disseminate FIWARE and will help in the adoption of FIWARE by the companies that they accelerate. Okay, so FIWARE Accelerate Mission Support Committee. Which is the goal of this committee? The goal of this committee is to promote the adoption of FIWARE technologies among solutions integrators and applications developers with a special focus on SMEs and startups. The specific goals are to create top acceleration programs promoting FIWARE technologies that help SMEs and startups to get to the next level. Also, to empower and support the beneficiaries of the acceleration programs to use FIWARE technologies and further expand the FIWARE development community. And finally, to align the promotion efforts with the press office, with the FIWARE Foundation, with the different projects, with the other mission support committees and members of FIWARE Accelerate. Okay, and which are the following steps in the Mission Support Committee? Will be established 4 working groups, a working group on acceleration, a working group on community building, a working group on dissemination, and a working group on FIWARE adoption. Of course, the participation in these working groups will be open to the members of the FIWARE Foundation. Okay, and the proposal to form the Mission Support Committee will be sent to the FIWARE Foundation Board of Directors by the beginning of March 2017, next year. Okay, so the first point, the constitution of the Mission Support Committee, and the second point is that 2 accelerators will launch new open calls. Yesterday, we said that Frontier Cities will launch his first open call by the end of January of next year, and Impact Growth will launch also the next open call by the end of February next year. This launch will be in 4 years from now, where we will have a very big presence. We are already negotiating with this event how we'll be present there. Okay, and what offers Frontier Cities? Frontier Cities will have from 30 to 50 grantees that will get from 25,000 euros to 100,000 euros. Also, they will work in a collaboration with the cities in deploying FIWARE-enabled solutions in more than 100 cities. Frontier Cities already have a network of more than 40 cities, because in the previous acceleration programs, they ask the companies to present their project in collaboration with a city. And all the projects that they support were tested in those cities. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, okay. Okay, and what about Impact Growth? Impact Growth, the final objective of Impact Growth is find 4 European superstars, 4 companies with the potential to raise 1.5 million euros in the months after the acceleration program ends. And how we are going to do it? We are going to distribute 3.6 million euros to around 30 startups in a tokens of 125K per startups. And we will implement it in 4 phases. Well, we will look for startups, in 4 verticals. In smart cities verticals, with the support of a corporate, Ferrovial, in the smart content vertical, with the support of Docomo Digital, in the smart agri-food vertical, with the support of Danone, and in the smart a manufacturing vertical with the support of MADE, the Association of Manufacturing in Denmark, that includes companies like Lego. And it will be done in 4 phases. The phase 1 is the dissemination of FIWARE that will be done in collaboration with Mobile World Congress and ISDI. The phase 2 will be the selection of the beneficiaries that will be done by funding box with the collaboration of FIWARE Foundation. And the phase 3 is the acceleration program. The acceleration program in this case is quite different because we structure the acceleration program in 3 phases. The first phase is the live due diligence that will be led by Accelerators and ISDI, and in the second and third phase, we are involving private investors. We're involving investor and equity crowdfunding firm that will help at least 12 startups to launch equity crowdfunding campaigns, and we're involving venture capitals like Kibo Ventures and Accelerators that will invest around 500K in the startups in each batch, and will lead the investment round with them. And okay, the phase 4 of impact growth is sustainability, because impact growth aims to become the first publicly funded accelerator to achieve sustainability beyond public funding, and we are already working in this sustainability. It is also about global impact. In impact, there will be presentations in America, in Silicon Valley, in Mexico, in Asia. Mobile World Congress has an event in Shanghai, and we will go with them to present their FIWARE and the accelerations programs. In Europe, of course, all over Europe, with the support of the different partners. And yeah, well, the result, sorry. I'm messing a little bit with the computer. Excuse me. Okay, this is the global impact of impact. And these are the key results. Find 4 superstars that will receive 1.5 million euros, distribute 125K in around 30 startups, receive around 2,000 applications, and reach more than 8,000 startups, and a global impact of 250 million globally. In impact, in the 2 previous years, we have a global reach of more than 300 million, sorry. Okay, and so what is FIWARE Accelerate? We think that FIWARE Accelerate was a key cornerstone in all the FIWARE strategy, because FIWARE Accelerate allowed to spread the use of FIWARE, because more than 1,000 FIWARE adopters exist due to the program, because around 9,000 people applied to FIWARE, and so they have to read about FIWARE and prepare at least a solution on the paper for FIWARE. And now the main goal of FIWARE Accelerate is to continue to contribute to the dissemination and adoption of FIWARE technologies, to continue to be a cornerstone in the FIWARE strategy. And okay, that's it. Thank you.
So now Carolina will give the perspective from FIWARE Mundus, kind of a summary of the 3 days.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I will briefly explain to you the results of our first meeting of the FIWARE Mundus committee that we had on Tuesday, and the plans ahead. So maybe I will. Okay.
No.
This is it. Okay. Okay. So as I just said, the first meeting was on Tuesday, and we really launched this first Mundus committee work. FIWARE is born in Europe, and we say we go global. But this has already started in previous projects, and we have created this Mundus brand, which is really the FIWARE Mundus brand all over the world, whatever the project which started this dissemination throughout the world was called FILinks, and now we are starting with FI Global. FIWARE Mundus will remain as a brand and will be used also by the FIWARE Foundation and all actors, all stakeholders. Our mission is really to disseminate FIWARE and help all regions of the world to use FIWARE in the best way. And as Chris said this morning, it's kind of a new step in FIWARE lifestyle and life in general, because from a baby born in Europe, we will have a child which will propagate and learn to speak Chinese and Spanish, and all regions of the world will have to really use FIWARE the way it is best for themselves. So this is our mission. As we have already shown, you have seen yesterday, I think in the introductory phase, that we are already in several countries all around the world. You have also seen that in the panel discussion yesterday afternoon. And this is something that we want to increase and strengthen. So for this, we are really starting this operational committee. We have already discussed how to be better organized. So we have a chairman who is my colleague, Jacques Magin, who was moderating the panel yesterday. But we have also kind of split the major regions in the world. So we have one people really guiding in that region how the work will be done. So we have Orange for Africa, someone else for Asia, and my colleague Jacques Magin for the North American part, and UPM, the University of Madrid, will be for the Latin America. So this is something that we try to best optimize, but in a later stage it might be that we have only one people for the whole of it. We will also have some regular meetings every 6 months, but of course in the meantime telcos and this kind of stuff, so kind of regular activity to exchange and feedback about what's happening. I will briefly go to the actions that we are planning to have. We have to be present in a number of events throughout the world. We are already involved, we have been involved in the GCTC, the Global City Team Challenge in United States. Those have launched some super cluster, meaning that in the city they also differentiate per time of verticals, be it energy, be it garbage, be it health in the city, be it disaster prevention and management in case it happens. So we will remain involved in those super clusters, and that means we will be attending a number of events in the United States. But why not, and that is the last bullet here, why not also trying to attract the GCTC in Europe in 2018? That would be something very interesting and challenging. We are also planning a number of events. I will not go through all the details, but you see that we cover a number of countries. We often have to combine North America. We go to Canada when we go to the United States. Then we go to Tokyo, Casablanca, Korea, Mexico, Brazil, all those countries where we have already started to have some contacts. In some cases already some labs, some FIWARE nodes, but also trying to help each country find the best solution for it, be it raising a lab or having just a community of developers to be kept alive. This is a list of action points that we need to do. This is more some, I would say, almost administrative stuff to organize ourselves, to draw our charter. We will, like the Accelerator, prepare a number of documents that will be submitted to the board of directors of the FIWARE Foundation by early March. And we will also plan in our, let's say, daily actions to combine a kind of bottom-up approach with a strategy in all the regions where we are already having a foot, but also taking a bottom-up approach where we want to address needs when we can detect them in the events which I just mentioned. So it's really a combination of having a strategy, but also being pragmatic and helping those who come to us and would like to be part of this FIWARE community. One thing I also want to address is that we will remain in the major domains where the FIWARE Foundation decided that it would be more interesting to go. So we have already involved a lot of activities in smart cities. We are starting with smart agriculture, agri-food, and we will start, that is maybe less mature in our own process, about industry, smart industry, Industry 4.0, and everything that has been discussed in the previous days. But we will also keep in mind this interesting presentation by Siemens about this lifestyle 4.0, which is so important to break silos and have a really common horizontal approach, all based on FIWARE. And that's something that you recognize here, Powered by FIWARE. I think this is kind of motto that we should all have. Try to see FIWARE as an engine to disseminate in all sectors of our lives. We will, of course, take advantage of all those groups and colleagues working in different organizations, like the OASC Cities group involved in smart cities. We will also work with the other projects involved, like FICOR and FINEX, to really make sure that we follow the same path, and we maybe can readdress someone to one of the projects if needed. We have to take into account that we have a critical mass, but if we want to have even more people in our community, then we need to be best organized. And I think that's where the foundation is so important, because now it will be really organized, and we will decide how to best address the needs of this or that country. Of course, we will also have to address everything around communication, public relation, and materials for dissemination. There are still some open questions, like how do we handle the different languages of all those countries where we want to be involved. I think we also have to get support locally by all those hubs or contacts or labs that we will have in those countries. They will best guide us in the way we need to disseminate information, and they have also their own knowledge of how to approach the developers. So I think the local people that will be in and are already in our network is so important that we really have to capitalize on that. Then, of course, depending on the needs that we detect in the different regions of the world, we will have to work in close cooperation with either the accelerators, if we really want to animate this community of SMEs and startups, be it an existing accelerator in Europe, why not, that would be interested to also address SMEs and startups in another regions of the world, or be it helping to create a local accelerator in one other region. So that's something that is not predetermined. It will be something to be discussed with the local people. We will also have to take advantage, as I already mentioned, of the local universities and discuss with the local public authorities on how to proceed to make FIWARE spread into the country. Then we will also, of course, have to work with the committee, the iHubs committee. When I mentioned the accelerators, it was already something we have done recently in previous projects, so we already have an idea on how that can work. For the iHubs, we will have to really discover and decide how to proceed. But also there, I think having iHubs locally can be a very interesting opportunity. And in Brazil, we have this example of iHubs. So this is the way the community will grow. Through the FIWARE Mundus, we will spread the information about FIWARE, and we will gather feedback from the different countries. Then we will cooperate with either the committees, iHubs and Accelerate, or directly with projects to really answer the needs of the locals. I think that's it. That covers what I wanted to share with you today. What is clear is we have a lot to do. We are just at the beginning of that process. Until March, we will really refine how we work, who does what, how we cooperate with the foundation itself, with the other committees. And then from that time onwards, we will really also learn on the field in the different countries how to best answer the needs and how to best propagate FIWARE worldwide. Thank you for your attention.
All right, so now I will elaborate on FIWARE iHubs, and I promise to be short, 6 minutes, no more. So, the road ahead. We have just discussed about FIWARE Mundus, and that was this idea about thinking globally. And FIWARE iHubs is precisely about the complementarity, the acting local. So that is the spirit of FIWARE iHubs and fundamental instrument in the expansion and consolidation of FIWARE as a global initiative. And FIWARE iHubs are intended to be the meeting point where things happen, engaging the community, making it growth in different angles. What kind of activities are typically going to take place in a FIWARE iHub? Well, first of all, we have to understand this will be a physical place where people can go and talk about FIWARE, receive training, and meet others in the community. So what kind of activities? Training, coaching is very important. It's something in which we have to put a lot of effort in these phases, trying to enlarge the number of developers who know how to create applications using FIWARE, the architects of the solutions. So places where developers training will take place regularly, also meetups being organized, sessions with the startups and SMEs where they could be coached about how they could get the best of FIWARE when designing the solutions. And of course, any other kind of activities that may help them to engage and learn more about FIWARE, like hackathons and so on. It will be, given its local dimension, the perfect instruments also to engage universities. We really believe a lot about the ability by universities to prescribe. I belong to a generation who was responsible, at least in Spain, on the widely adoption of Unix. And one of the reasons why was because when we ended our computer science career, we wanted to use Unix. We didn't want to work with the mainframes that were there in the companies at that time. So universities had to do a lot with adoption, and FIWARE iHubs are the excellent instrument to set up this kind of collaboration. They are also intended to be one of the elements that will help this marketplace tool to grow, and do it by different means. First of all, by searching for companies locally who may join the initiative, the marketplace. They might be IoT device manufacturers, they might be solution developers. Try to bring them to the marketplace. And in this role, we also intend that they will play a role in certifying those solutions, labeling them somehow, to make sure that whatever is there in the marketplace is of enough quality, is something you can trust. So FIWARE iHubs, we see, are going to be instrumental in scaling and bringing good stuff to the marketplace. Showcasing is another element. Startups, SMEs who have developed solutions based on FIWARE are eager to showcase those solutions and finding a nice place, a nice setting where they can bring their customers and show a solution. This could be an excellent opportunity. We are going to develop this vision in the coming months. This was one idea that came to our minds in the discussions that we had this Tuesday, which was this Micheline approach. If you make the analogy, restaurants appear there, and some of them close after some time, and some of them really develop and go more and more recognized over time. So there is this notion of the Michelin guide that gives you a start when you are recognized in the quality of what you do and the kind of food you bring, right, and so on. So we were thinking about coming out with some sort of approach similar to that regarding FIWARE iHubs, because also it's a matter of, rewarding the hard work that some of these FIWARE iHubs may be doing, but also making sure that there is this notion of quality of trying to do the right activities and so on. And also understanding that there might be FIWARE iHubs that cannot do all the kind of activities we mentioned, we listed before, just some of them. With this kind of labeling, people would be able to understand what they can find when they go to a particular FIWARE iHub. And hopefully this will help also to attract people. And last slide, mentioning the need to find good examples that will help others to find a way. And we were really proud from the FIWARE Foundation to see that there has been this announcement of the FIWARE Zone as one of the, I think, front-runner FIWARE iHubs nodes that will be there, and really with a very comprehensive and interesting range of activities that they are already planned. This has been launched by Telefónica and the Junta de Andalucía, who is the regional government here in Andalusia. And with all these kind of activities that I mentioned before, which are going to happen these days and will be developed along the whole duration of next year. That is more or less the concepts. Probably FIWARE iHubs are not that much developed as the other two programs that we had in place, but we were able to network with several organizations from different countries that came on Tuesday and have been discussing with us during these days, that were willing to set up this notion of FIWARE iHubs in their countries. So we have created a working group to run further discussions and liaising, and this committee will be soon established formally within the umbrella of the FIWARE Foundation, trying to push the development of these FIWARE iHub nodes and the cooperation among them. And I think that's it. Thank you.